Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel and welcome to the 2001 demo game in Payoff Pitch Baseball. For those of you who are wondering what I'm talking about by a demo game, and well, I'll explain that in a minute. Actually, right now what I need to do is I need to find, here it is. I was going to say I need to find the remote for the scoreboard, but I got it right here. Anyway, the 2001 demo game takes us to Stade Olympique in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, as we are playing the Detroit Tigers against the Montreal Expos in a game of Payoff Pitch Baseball, which is actually featuring a rematch of the 1985 World Series. The last time we were here, we were busy watching Montreal take Game 5 by a final score of 6-3, which gave the Expos the World Series 4-1 along with it. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to play a very slow game of Payoff Pitch Baseball, just to see how the system, in case you're curious about how the system works. This will also serve another purpose for me, because I'll be using this as well to get the feel for Action PC Baseball, which I picked up the 2001 season for. So I'm going to try using the manual entry system out for that, for my replay of the 2001 season. We've got the fans filing in tonight. We're expecting a sellout in this one. And we're expecting a great game tonight. Before we get started, though, if the fans here will please rise, if the fans here at Olympic Stadium will please rise, remove any head coverings while the playing of the national anthems. First, once I get it queued up, just making sure this all looks good here, we will have the playing of the American national anthem. We're actually going to go ahead and start the anthem again because I was having some trouble getting it queued up and the volume was fairly low. So, once again, we'll take it away. And now, if the fans will kindly stay standing, we will also have the playing of the Canadian national anthem. Thank you for the respect for the anthems. And now as we go down to the home plate, we will have the commissioner of Phoenix Night Network stepping onto the field, getting booed out of the building, but he is here to present the banner of the 1985 World Series to the 1985 World Series champions, the Montreal Expos. The stadium cheers, "Yay!" as the banner gets hung up in center field. Montreal Expos celebrating their 1985 World Series victory, which is what brings us here to Stade Olympique for the 2001 demo game. And now we'll start to get into it. The starting pitcher for the Montreal Expos in this demo game is 𝐊𝐿𝐷𝐿. 16-11 and a 3.42 ERA. 223 2/3 innings pitched, 197 hits, 24 home runs, 44 walks, and 208 strikeouts in 2001. As he takes his warm-up tosses, we will meet the starting lineup in charge of trying to get to 𝐊𝐿𝐷𝐿 tonight in the demo game. I've got a pen right here. Good. Leading off for the Tigers, we've got Jose Macias at third base. Shane Halter is at shortstop. Robert Fick is catching. Tony Clark is at first base. Bobby Higginson is in left field. Chris Wakeland is in right field. Damian Easley is at second base. Juan Encarnacion is in center field. And the starting pitcher for the Detroit Tigers, Jeff Weaver, hits off a pitcher hitting card number 1. And leading off tonight, we have the third baseman, Jose Macias. He had, against right-handed pitching as Vasquez is a righty, 8 home runs, 29 walks. A few things to mention that I'm going to mention here before we get into this. I did get a couple of deliveries in, and we'll mix those in as part of the demo game. We'll probably crack one after the 3rd inning, and the other will come during the 7th inning stretch. Also, I'm going to be a little bit more interactive with chat than I normally am. So if you have any questions about Payoff Pitch Baseball, please feel free to leave them in the chat, and I or somebody else who knows the game will get to them. Normally when I do a baseball stream, I only interact during every half inning, so I'm going to be more interactive than usual tonight. Let's also make this a bit of an AMA stream. So if there's anything you want to ask me as we're going through tonight, leave your question in the chat with an AMA tag, and I'll answer it. But let's have regular AMA rules apply to that. So, once again, the normal rule I give to people for that is if you wouldn't want it asked of you, don't ask it of me. Now, the first thing to note is that Payoff Pitch Baseball uses 2d6 and D percentile dice. A little detail that I like to use is the color of the dice based on whoever the home team is. In this case, we are going to be using red and blue for the 2d6s and white for the D100, as the Expos are the home team by virtue of Montreal winning the 1985 World Series. And I'm going to swap out this blue die. So we're going to use that blue die instead. Now, as usual, all baseball rules will apply to Payoff Pitch Baseball. So we're going to jump in. We're going to roll all 4 dice for the at-bat as Vasquez looks in at Michael Barrett for the sign. And we'll go to the opening pitch of this 2001 demo game. The 2d6 yield a result of 4, and the D percentile has a roll of 64 on it. Now, you're probably wondering, Phoenix Night, what the hell does that even mean? So we're going to walk through it very slowly. First, we take the 2d6 result of 2 and 2, totaling 4. So we just add the 2 together and get the sum out of it. Afternoon, Phoenix. Welcome home. Thanks for inviting us into a part of your life on Mystical Munchies. Glad to do it, Troy, as Troy Sawyer is first to join us here at Olympic Stadium for the 2001 demo game. Just about to walk through the first play, Troy, so you've got great timing. We'll most certainly ask questions. Feel free to ask away. Once again, just to mention, if you want we'll default to Payoff Pitch being the default topic. If you want to ask me anything else, leave a question with an AMA tag, and as long as it's not too personal, I will answer it. Anywho, coming back to our first play. We rolled a 4 on the 2d6 and a 64 on the D100. So the first thing we're going to do is take the result of the 2d6, the sum of those, and we're going to take it over to Vasquez's card. In this case, we'll see a 4 gives us a tough result. So that's the section we'll be consulting on the batter's card. So you can see here that the batter section has a lot of information on it, but what's relevant here is we have the wheel for wheelhouse. We have a patience section, a tough, an in play, and an out. Now, taking the D100 roll, we have a 64 because the tough from the D6 result sent us to the tough section on the batter card. We find the tough against a right-handed pitcher. These cards have splits on them, so you've got a section for both against left-handed pitcher and right-handed pitcher. In this case, Vasquez is a righty. He's the pitcher for the Expos. So we drop down to tough, and we see that 64 is actually not included in here. So what will happen there is it will actually be defaulted over to the out section on the card. In this case, 64 is a G4. So what that will translate to is that'll be grounded over to the second baseman for the Expos. Second baseman is Jose Vidro. That'll be the first out of the inning, and we are underway here at Olympic Stadium. I'm going to try my hand at what? There we go. Come on. Oh, for crying out loud. Hold on. My Action PC Baseball just decided to have a meltdown on me. Delightful. So bear with me while I get that up and running. While I get that up and running again. So that'll be the first out of the inning while Action PC decides... Apparently Action PC had a little bit of stage fright tonight. Who knew? Come on. That is definitely a good thing to know, though, because usually what I can do with Digital Diamond is, especially during the playoffs, I like being able to set the rosters in the morning when I go to work, and then I like to set the rosters in the morning when I go to work, and then come back and have everything ready to go. So I'm actually a little bit irritated right now that Action PC seems to have lost the... Oh, wait a minute. So I'm a little bit irritated right now that Action PC seems like it's... Come on! I'm actually a little bit irritated right now that Action PC seems to have lost the game I was trying to set up. So, hold on just a second. Oh, for crying out loud. I realized I went to the wrong thing. But it is good to know that apparently I can't just set the rosters. I can't set the rosters up in the morning and then leave them go to work or make sure I have them ready to go during the days. So now I've got to reset the entire game, which that is going to be a bit of a pain point in terms of being able to set up, in terms of being able to use this as part of a season replay. So let's go opponent versus righty. Hold on. Now I've got to reset the entire roster. So that's actually very irritating. Let's see. So we've got Macias in the 1 spot. Halter's 2. Fick is 3. Clark is 4. Higginson is 5. Easily 7. Encarnacion is in the 8 spot. Wakeland in the 7 spot. Jeff Weaver. Okay, so he's all set. Invalid position for Wakeland. Hold on. Wakeland is in right field. easily in the 7th spot at second base, Encarnacion in center field. Let me just make sure I've got my lineup reset here. There we are. Now let me tab over to Montreal. Both teams, I'm trying to select a starting pitcher. Baseball cards, here we go. Showed us the out sheet before, but can you explain it again and show it closer? Let me get my Action PC reset, Troy, and then I'll be happy to. So just bear with me for just a second while I get my lineups reset in Action PC. Here we go. Versus a righty, Cabrera, Bradley, Vidro, Guerrero, Stevens, Smith, Bloom, Barrett. I'm sorry if I'm coming off a little bit frustrated, Troy, but having Action PC go into total meltdown mode basically in the middle of the stream when I was about to go test manual entry mode, it's kind of driving me nuts here. So anyway, so we're back to Macias at the plate. That's going to be a ground ball to second base. And we will turn it over. Okay, I definitely need to do something about that as well. So, coming back to the play here, as Philip Reynolds now joins us here at Olympic Stadium as I'm walking through the first play. So we'll walk back through the first play once again. So first of all, taking the 2d6 result of a 4, as you can see, once it decides to focus, there we are. That's what I rolled on the 2d6. 2 plus 2 is 4. So, Troy, I bring that up to the pitcher card, and I drop down to 4, find that's tough. Then taking the 64 on the D100 to Macias's card, I consult tough, and I see that 64 is not in the range. I see that 64 is not anywhere in the range for the tough play. So because it's out of the range, I default over to the out section. And 64 64 drops down to G4. So that's where I get a ground ball over to second base, and that's where I started having the fit with Action PC. So that is 1 out in the inning, and we are back underway here at Olympic Stadium. Next in the batter's box is Shane Halter for the Tigers. 9 home runs, 31 walks against right-handed pitching in 2001. Vasquez once more looks in at Barrett for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here is the next pitch. Once again, the 4 on the 2d6 will send us to tough for Vasquez. So that takes us to Vasquez's card. So a tough for Halter against a righty of 57. We see that's an SO on the card because that's within the 1 to 60 range. So what that means is, of course, Halter's struck out, and that will be the second out of the inning. So that should be, here we go. So that is strike 3 on Halter, 2 outs in the inning. And next up is Robert Fick. 17 home runs, 27 walks against right-handed pitching in 2001. Did that make sense? Did that play make sense for you, Troy? I tried to walk through it. I tried to walk through it nice and slow. Hopefully it all made sense, but again, feel free. Anybody who would like to ask questions, that's the idea of the demo game. So Vasquez will once more get the sign from Barrett, because I cannot stop dropping dice tonight. Vasquez will set, and here comes the pitch. Okay, good. Glad to know. Well, actually, we are still rolling tough, because that's what 2 and 4 is going to translate to a 6. That'll bring us to tough on Vasquez's card, and a 20 will be another strikeout as Fick swings through the high heat. That'll be strike 3. Vasquez will set them down in order. He'll set them down 1, 2, 3 here in the top of the first. And we have no score here at Olympic Stadium, as it is now Detroit 0, Montreal coming to bat. And I need to get a box score of some kind ready to go here. And just as a fun little thing, I use this Cthulhu Flux token. If you're a regular on the channel, you know I use that token a lot. And in this case, I'm using that to indicate the batter for which team is batting. Starting pitcher for the Detroit Tigers tonight is Jeff Weaver. 13-16 with a 4.08 ERA. 229 and a third innings pitched, 235 hits, 19 home runs, 68 strikeouts, and 68 walks and 152 strikeouts in 2001. Let's meet the Expos lineup he's in charge of keeping in check. Leading off, we've got Orlando Cabrera at shortstop, Milton Bradley in center field, Jose Vidros at second base, Vladimir Guerrero is in right field, Lee Stevens is at first base, Mark Smith is in left field, Jeff Bloom is at third base, Michael Barrett is catching, and Javier Vasquez hits off of pitcher hitting card number 11. Leading off for the Expos, we've got Orlando Cabrera. Weaver is also a righty, so 10 home runs and 26 walks for Cabrera against right-handed pitching in 2001. Weaver now looking in for his first time on the mound. He will look in at who is catching for the Tigers. He will look in at Fick for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here's Weaver's opening pitch of this demo game. So that's a 769. So first thing we do once again is we go to Weaver's card with the 7, and we see a 7 in this case is a patient. So we'll take the 69 over to Cabrera's card against a righty. We look in patient for a 69. We see patient is actually too high to do anything with that. So that'll bring us over to the out portion of the card. And once again, 69 is a G4. So that's going to get bounced over to second base. Where waiting for that is going to be easily. He will make the play, and that will be out number 1. And next in the batter's box, we've got Milton Bradley. 1 home run, 13 walks against right-handed pitching. Now, one thing to note here that I should mention is there are plenty of switch hitters on cards, and the way you'll know that is if there's a B if there's a B up here on the card. What that means is a switch hitter will always bat the opposite side always bat the opposite side to the pitcher. So because Weaver is a righty, and it's going to be in the same spot on the pitcher card, which I can see up here, that means Bradley is going to be batting lefty. So that'll affect us when we go on to for stuff like going on to the ballpark card, but I think that's the main spot where it's actually going to affect us, and I will explain what happens on the ballpark card when we need to go there. So I'll introduce that at that point. Weaver will now look in at Fick for the sign. He will set, and here comes the pitch. 4. Okay, 4 says we're going to the ballpark card. So this is a great time to introduce the ballpark card. This is one of the things I really like about Payoff Pitch Baseball, where it does introduce the ballpark. So there's a lot of information on here. So there's a range play, which every player has a range under their R column. So depending on how high the range goes, is how hard or easy it can be to get a hit on them. It goes from A A being best to F being worst on the range. The error section is the same way, descending from 5 to 1, 5 being the best for an error or an out. The section we're interested in right now, however, is up here with this wheelhouse versus in play. This is where Bradley switching sides on the plate could cause problems. So we see for a left-handed batter, if we look at the roll on the D100, 1 to 32 would be a wheelhouse check, whereas a 33 to 99 is an in play. For a righty, 58 to 1 to 58 is a wheelhouse for a righty. 59 to 100, 59 to 99, I should say, is in play. In this case, the D100 roll is actually an 8. So what that means is that's in the range of the wheelhouse check here. So Bradley is going to get to roll on his wheelhouse. So we'll re-roll the D100 and consult his wheelhouse against a right-handed pitcher. And the roll there is a 46. So when we go to wheelhouse on Bradley against a right-handed pitcher, we will see that 46 is a bit too high. So coming back over to the out section again, we'll see a G3 there next to 46. So that'll be grounded over to first for the second out of the inning. And waiting for that will be Clark. He will make the play on that one, and there will be 2 outs in the inning. And stepping into the batter's box next, we have 𝐊𝐿𝐲𝐬𝐿. 12 home runs, 25 walks against right-handed pitching in 2001. Once again, as it's been very quiet on the base paths, there's nothing special going on here. So we'll be introducing some other stuff like the fast action cards. Those will come into play a little bit later, as I mostly use those for runner advancement and other stuff like that. But we'll talk about the fast action cards when they become relevant to the game. So let's get back to our 2-out at bat for 𝐕𝐻𝐻 here in the bottom of the first. Weaver looking in at Clark, actually not Clark, looking in at Fick for the sign. He will set, and here comes the pitch. A 7 is bringing us over to a 7 on Weaver's card is a patient. So we'll bring a patient over to 𝐕𝐻𝐻's card, and a 23 against a right-handed batter is a BB. So what that means is 𝐕𝐻𝐻's worked a walk out of the at-bat. And now he gets on with 2 outs in the inning. And that'll bring up somebody you really don't want to have on the base, you really don't want to have at the plate right now. That is Vladimir Guerrero. 26 home runs, 20 walks against right-handed pitching in 2001. Now, I could do some base running stuff here, but I'm not going, well, we'll touch on it a little bit, but I'm not going to be doing any base running here with 2 outs. I still am going to use a little bit of baseball sense. So you'll combine the steal rating. In this case, we'll take the letter from 𝐕𝐻𝐻. He's a B. He's a B there, and we'll use the catcher rating. In this case, it's Fick. His arm rating of a 5. So we'll consult the steal chart. I gotta fish all of my charts out here, so hold on just a second. This is also a chance for me to help make sure I've got everything straight for Payoff Pitch before the 2001 season replay starts. So on our chart, we'll see based on the steal and arm, he's got an excellent chance of trying to steal second or third. Now, you could roll on this chart to get the result. What I like to do, though, is this is one of the things where I go to the fast action cards for it, where based on the rating, I would get so I'd use the fast action card based on the rating on that combination to see if he steals the base. I use that in combination with there's another chart I want here. Here we go. The Get It Jump chart. So I combine this with the steal rating for him, in this case is a 3 against a hold rating of a 7. So I take the hold rating of 7 down to a jump rating of 3, and I would roll the D100 if I'm trying to steal a base. In this case, 0 to 49 he takes off, 50 to 99 he holds. And then resolving the steal for me is as simple as getting it as flipping a fast action card. But I'm not going to do a steal because you're not trying to steal a base with 2 outs in any inning. So we're going to go right to the next play. And I'm just going to look in Action PC to see if there is a section for a stolen base. And yes, there is. There's actually quite a few things on here. But let's jump into the next play here. So Weaver will get the sign from Fick. He will set, and here will come the pitch. A 9. So we add once again, we're adding the 2d6, 4 and 5, and we're getting 9. That'll take us to in play. 31 against a right-handed pitcher is just off the Guerrero's card. 31 is actually going to be a single. Now this is the first thing where I use a fast action card. So what I do for that is on here, I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to consult the section up here for single. You can see there's also dice rolls on both of these. There's also a hit section here, error and out. There's also sections for sack bunt, stealing, and if they're trying to steal home plate. So in this case, what I want is the single section up here. So that'll be a hard grounder into left-handed or right-handed. In this case, that'll be a hard grounder into left field. Runner on first will advance 1 base. So that'll be an S9. That'll be an S7. Actually, hold on. That should have been a walk for Vidro. And now the single for Guerrero. So let's see. Yep. So I'm just looking at I'm just looking at Action PC. Yep, we can advance. We'll advance everybody 1 base. So all of a sudden, the Expos have something going on for Lee Stevens. Hold on. No, the runner 1. Hold on. Okay, this is something I knew was going to be a problem because there was no way it looked like to undo the play. Whereas Digital Diamond, you can undo the play. But yeah, so hold on. I didn't want. Okay, yeah, this I don't like because there's no way to go back and redo the play. So essentially I should end up with Vidro at second base right now. I don't like that Action PC doesn't let you go back and redo plays. So that is a little bit annoying, but technically, based on the rules of the game, I should have Vidro at second base, not third. But we're going to go with it here. So Weaver, trying to get out of a jam here. Action PC says runners at the corners. It might be 2-out runner advance an extra base. That may be where I'm getting confused. I'm going to double check that real quick. Let's see, base running rules. Actually, does Vidro have a... Actually, Vidro's got a run rating of a 7. As Baseball with the Demos now joins us here at Action PC. There is an undo function. Where is it in there, Baseball Demos? I was having a problem finding it. But actually, I might have my wires crossed because I'm looking at the rules right now for Payoff Pitch, and actually, I think there is extra runner advancement. So a run rating of 6 or higher advances 2 bases. Vidro does have a run rating of a 7, so actually it looks like he should be at third base. So yeah, I had my wires crossed. There is runners do advance an extra base with 2 outs. I know that's a thing in inside pitch as well, so I had my wires a little bit crossed there. So actually, Action PC is correct. We do have runners at the corners, and I just had the dice in my hands. There we are. So that'll bring us back to our play. tabbing back into Digital Diamond, or not Digital Diamond. I've been using Digital Diamond so long for baseball, I'm still getting used to Action PC, and I don't like what the UI seems like it's doing here. Oh dear. Oh, delightful. I seem to have lost everything here. This is not good. Oh, how did manual entry end up here? Go to Rules under General and click Delete Last Play. There is no general option I'm seeing up here, baseball demos. Let's see, there's bullpens. Well, that solved one problem. That at least brought my UI back. So now I've got manual entry, but no, I think, let me see if I can, now I want to find this undo feature. This is actually a new release that we're looking at here. So we've established that we should have we should have runners at the corners, but now I do want to find this undo option. I don't see it in here, but odds are team lineup full screen. That's not what I want. Rules box isn't what I want either. Okay, that's a stat report. That's not what I want. Let's see, quick. That's not where I want to be. Let's see, options, then rules. Manual play entry. General. Season length, that's not. Allow replay reviews, no. Rosters, that's not where I want to be. Inning pauses, info, manual play entry, that's what I'm using here. It's under general. The problem is this is a new release, baseball demos, and I don't see a general option up here unless it's, it wouldn't be back here in the main screen. There's no general option in this new release that I'm looking at. So, looks like I did have my wires top right of the screen. That's night game, all the weather details, lineup, bench, bullpen, Detroit roster. We can get to rosters. Click out of there. We got the play-by-play summary. Maybe under setup. All right, well, at least I got everything straightened out. There's no option sorry, baseball demos, but there's no option I'm seeing here for redoing. There's no general. And let me see if I can tab in so I can show you what I'm looking at. Oop. Hold on. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's see if I can. Alright, so let's remove that scene. Trying to add a new scene. Oh, here we go. So let's try sources. Let's see if we can do game capture. Window capture. It's not showing the taskbar. It's not showing the taskbar, but here's what well, I had it up. Oh, for Christ's sake. Next to options for rainouts. Oop. So options, rules. It's a good thing I'm finding these hiccups now rather than in the middle of the season. So if we go general, rain delays, oh, delete last play option. There we go. And then in order to undo that, then if I need to undo a play for the future, that will be okay. So it's under options, delete last play. Okay, now we got it sorted out. So now I can get that out of my way, and we'll come back to business here. Thanks, Baseball Demos. I know I'm a bit of a dunce at Action PC Baseball, but this is my first time ever using it, so you'll have to give me a little bit of a break on that. Anywho, now that we got that very catastrophic aside out of the way, like I said, I had my wires crossed, and it turns out we should have runners on the corners, because there is extra base advancement. So now that we've got that sorted out, let's go back to Stevens, as Weaver gets the sign from Fick in a bit of trouble here. With 2 outs, there are options to play the infield in, but I don't bring the infield in with 2 outs. Weaver will set, and he will pitch. A 9 is bringing us back to the in play, but a 69 on Stevens' card is actually going to be a bit too high, as we go against a righty. A 69 will be a G6, so that'll get bounced over to shortstop, as Halter will get to that one. He will make the play, and the Expos will strand a pair on base. They will get a hit and a walk out of it, though. We are tied at goose eggs here in Montreal after 1. So hopefully after that pain in the neck of the first inning, you guys are starting to make a little bit more. It's making a little bit more sense to those of you who might be newer to Payoff Pitch Baseball. Again, any questions you might have, feel free to ask them about Payoff Pitch. If they're outside of Payoff Pitch, tag them with an AMA, so I'll know that they're separate from that, and usual AMA rules will apply. Anywho, next up for the Tigers, leading off the top of the second, is Tony Clark. 9 home runs, 42 walks against right-handed pitching. Vasquez will jump in and get the sign from Barrett. And we will have the next play as Vasquez winds up. And here's the first pitch of the second inning. 1 + 2 is a 3. Uh-oh. So this is a wheelhouse check. What that means is the batter actually got a hold of a good pitch. And then we bring the 96 over to Clark, wheelhouse against a righty. We'll see that it's an F7, so it's going to be a long fly ball into left field. But going back for that will be Smith, but he's going to have enough room to make the catch, and that will be 1 out in the inning. So we'll find fly ball to left field. I will say, now that I'm starting to get the kinks ironed out on Action PC, I'm actually liking it so far, because everything's very easy, aside from some quirks with Action PC. Bobby Higginson due up next. 9 home runs, 48 walks against right-handed pitching in 2001. Make sure there's nothing else going on in the chat. Hopefully you guys are enjoying me fight with Action PC Baseball and learning a little bit more about Payoff Pitch. Vasquez will look into Barrett for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. 6 will send us back to tough for Vasquez again. And a 69 for Higginson against the righty. We see a 69 is too high. So that will be a G6. That'll get grounded over to short. We're waiting for that one is going to be Cabrera. He will make the play for the second out of the inning. Chris Wakeland, now the batter. 2 home runs, no walks against right-handed pitching in 2001. So now we'll jump back into the bottom of the second, or top of the second. Vasquez gets the sign from Barrett once again. He will set, and here comes the pitch. 3 plus 5 is an 8, so this is the first time I think we've gone to Vasquez's card with an 8. We see an 8 here is a patient roll, and a 45 on Wakeland's card. We see 45 against the righty is going to be too high, so we'll take that 45 over to the out section, and we'll see it's a G5. That'll get bounced over to third. Waiting for that one for the Expos is going to be Bloom. He will make the play over to first, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Tigers here in the top of the second. No score here, heading into the bottom of the second. All right, leading off the bottom of the second now as I'm going to switch out my score sheets. We've got Mark Smith. 3 home runs, 9 walks against right-handed pitching in 2001. Weaver now, looking in at thick for the sign. Fans here at Olympic Stadium are still buzzing over their triumph in the 1985 World Series. Weaver will set, he will wind up, and here comes the pitch. 9 for Weaver. We see a 9 on Weaver's card is going to be in play, but we'll also see a 61 for Smith is going to be too high to do anything with it. 61 will be an F9. That'll be a fly ball into right field. Getting under that for the Tigers will be Wakeland. He will make the catch, and that will be out number 1. Jeff Bloom, now the batter. 5 home runs, 24 walks against right-handed pitching in 2001. Just make sure there's nothing that I need to interact with in chat. Looks like we're all good there. Weaver, once again looking in at thick for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. 3 on Weaver's card. Once again brings us to in play, and a 47 is again going to be too high for Bloom. A 47 is going to take us over to L6. That'll be lined over to shortstop. Waiting for that for the Tigers is going to be Halter. He'll put up his glove in self-defense. The ball will slam into it, and there are 2 outs in the inning. Michael Barrett, now the batter. 6 home runs, 22 walks against right-handed pitching in 2001. And it looks like we'll actually get to see how either way we're going to get to see how the pitcher cards work in the 3rd inning. Weaver will get the sign from Fick, and he will pitch. A 3, once again, is in play. 83 for Barrett is going to be miles too high to do anything with it. That'll be a G6, where once again it'll be Halter getting to that one for the Tigers. He will make the play over to first, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 will go the Expos here in the bottom of the second. Still no score here in Montreal after 2. And after this inning, we are going to have the first of our 2 extra product unboxings just to break up a little bit of the baseball monotony tonight. Leading off for the Tigers here in the top of the 3rd is the second baseman, Damian Easley. 9 home runs, 33 walks against right-handed pitching in 2001. Vasquez, looking in at... What? Hold on. I think I forgot to... Did I forget to enter the play here? Hold on. No, it's not in the stands. Okay, this is where I need to undo the play. So delete the last play. He's not safe on... Okay, hold on. Yeah, I need to delete the last play. Barrett. Good thing I had the... So ground ball to short. Let's make sure this goes how I need it to. Perfect. Okay, we should be in the third. Now that we got that sorted out. So thanks again, Baseball Demos, for the option for last play. I didn't need it when I was cussing and swearing for it, but I did need it there. Anywho, now that we've got that sorted out, Vázquez looks in at Barrett for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. This time it's a boxcars, which in this case, for Vázquez, we see 12 is a tough result, and a 57 for Easley is going to be just out of range for Easley to get a single. Instead, he's going to lift that one into right field, where Guerrero is back for that one. He will have plenty of room to make an easy catch for 1 out in the inning. And here's Juan Encarnacion. 8 home runs, 22 walks against right-handed pitching in 2001. Vázquez looking in at Barrett for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. 6. Oh boy. Okay, 6 is actually going to be a tough result. 4 plus 2 on the D6, and an 8 on Encarnacion against a righty. We see that's going to be an ugly swing by Encarnacion. He's going to strike out for out number 2. And we got our first look at the pitcher hitting cards as Jeff Weaver steps into the batter's box. The pitcher hitting cards, pitcher can hit on cards numbered 1 through 16, and unlike the batter hitting cards, there's no individualized stats. You've got all of your bunt, your DP, your double play, run rating, steal, all of that. And then a note here to use the bunt grade on the pitcher's pitching card. So normally the batter cards are divided by left and right splits. There aren't any of those on the pitcher hitting cards. So you just use the column. So you just use the number based on what the number is on the pitcher's card. In this case, Weaver bats off a pitcher hitting card 1. So we're using 1 on the pitcher's hitting card. So there are 2 outs in the inning. It would be tempting to have pitchers bunt, but they're not going to. Obviously not with 2 outs. Vázquez looking in at Barrett for the sign. He will set, and here comes the pitch. 8. That's going to be a patient, and a 35 on pitcher hitting card number 1. We scroll down to patient 35. We see patient 30 is the highest it goes, so 35 will bring us over to a G3. In this case, that will be a ground ball over to first base, where Stevens will make the play himself. That will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Tigers here in the top of the third. Still no score here in Montreal as we get set for the bottom of the third. And speaking of the pitcher hitting cards, Javier Vázquez now brings his pitcher hitting card into center stage. He hits off a pitcher hitting card number 11, as we see here on the card. So Vázquez now stepping into the batter's box. Vázquez got Weaver out. Can Weaver do the same to Vázquez? Weaver will get the sign from Fick. He will set, and here comes the pitch. An 8 is going to bring us over to the pitcher hitting card. And an 8 we see is a tough 14. So pitcher hitting card 14, and we see that's a strikeout, which to no surprise of yours truly, if a pitcher has a tough result, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to get out of the at-bat. So that'll be a swing and a miss for Vasquez, 1 out in the inning, and we're back to the top of the Montreal order. Here's Cabrera. Cabrera grounded out his first time up. Just checking in with chat to make sure everything is all good. Weaver will get the sign from Thick. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. And I do need to remember to change my ouch chart. 7 in this case is going to be a patient, but a 98 for Cabrera is going to be way too high. That's going to get lifted into left field. Getting under that for the Tigers is going to be Higginson, I believe. Yes, that'll be Higginson. He'll make the catch with no problems. 2 outs in the inning. And here's Bradley. Bradley grounded out his first time up. Weaver now will look in at Thick for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. 6 on Weaver's card is a tough, and a 0-1 is going to be a very ugly swing by Bradley, to the point where I think the bat actually got more airtime on that one. But that will retire the side as 1, 2, 3 go the Expos here in the bottom of the third. Still no score here in Montreal after 3. And before we start the top of the 4th, as I promised, we're going to take a small break and do an unboxing. Now, I'm not exactly sure where this box came from, but this was waiting for me when I got home today, because I was traveling across the state for Christmas. I think this is my delivery from Miniature Market. So we're going to crack this open and see what we've got in here. I have a feeling it is, though, because the one thing I've noticed about Miniature Market is they always send deliveries in way too big a box for what's actually in here. And we'll see that I'm greeted by Bubble, and we'll see that they have indeed done it again, of a delivery that is entirely, of a box that is entirely too big for what's in here. What we've got in here, though, is Bullet Paw, is an expansion for Bullet by level 99 games. This is adding new heroes, new cat-themed heroes, so I can add that to my Bullet games collection, which is very cool. I will get that box out of the way. I'll get this out into the... Actually, bear with me just a second. We'll take a small break, since I need to take a drink anyway, and I want to get this stuff out to where it's going to be out of my way. So, be right back. We'll crack the other delivery that I've got, and I've got another one waiting for me here. We'll crack that during the 7th inning stretch tonight. So we'll give Vasquez another couple of warm-up tosses while I take a quick drink. And we will continue on to the top of the Tigers' order. Here's Macias. Macias tonight is 0 for 1. It seems like there are no questions right now in chat. Of course, I'm happy to deal with them, but I think I'm going to start to pick up the pace a little bit so you guys can see this at a little bit of a faster tempo, what I normally play at during a replay. So Vasquez will get the sign from Barrett. He will set, and he will pitch. 10 is going to be a tough 68, and a tough 68. That'll be grounded over to second base. Grabbing that for the Expos is going to be Vidro. He will make the play, and that will be out number 1. Here's Halter. Halter tonight is 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. Vasquez. Now, of course, if there's something that comes up that we haven't seen before, I will slow down and explain it. Like if we actually get somebody on where we might want to do a little bit of base running, I'll slow down and go through that again. Vasquez will get the sign from Barrett. He will set, and he will pitch. 11 is an in-play 69, and that will be grounded over to second base. Grabbing that will be 𝐕𝐻𝐺 once again. He will make the play, 2 outs in the inning. Here's Fick once again. Fick tonight is 0 for 1. Vasquez getting a sign from Barrett once again. He will set, and he will pitch. 7, that's going to be an in-play 72, but that'll be way too high to do anything with that. That'll be a fly ball into center field. Coming under that for the Expos is going to be Bradley. He will make the catch, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Tigers here in the top of the 4th. Still no score as we get set for the bottom of the 4th. Heart of the order coming up, leading off for the Expos is 𝐕𝐻𝐺. 𝐕𝐻𝐺 tonight, though, is... Actually, he's got a walk, so he doesn't have an official at-bat tonight. Weaver will get the sign from Fick. He will set, and here comes the pitch. 10 is an in-play 98. That's going to be miles too high. That's going to get lifted into right field. Coming in for that a little bit will be Higginson. He will make the catch, and that will be out number 1. And here's Guerrero. Guerrero tonight has a single. Weaver looking in at Fick for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. 4 is a ballpark check. Guerrero's a righty. 35 is wheelhouse. Uh-oh. This could be trouble. And a 30 against a righty on a wheelhouse check. We see that a 30 means Guerrero has just given the Expos the lead here in this demo game. The first run of the game as well. With a boom! High, deep, gone. Home run, Vladimir Guerrero. Expos take the lead 1-0 on a solo shot by Guerrero. Stadium cheers. Yay! And here's Stevens. Stevens grounded out his first time up, as that one just barely manages to get out, but it counts for getting out. Expos now have a 1-0 lead. Stevens looking to keep the momentum going. Weaver will get the sign from Fick. He's got to shake that one off. He will set, and here comes the pitch. 5 is going to be an in-play and a 13 against a righty. Stevens will keep it going, as he'll have a base hit. Well, ask and ye shall receive. I do bring the infield to double play depth, but that's purely a narrative detail in Payoff Pitch Baseball. I've just gotten so used to it for inside pitch that I just always use double play depth as a thing. Continuing the inning now is Smith. Smith is 0 for 1. Now, looking at Stevens, I see he's a C5. He's a C on a steal rating, combined with the arm of a 5 for Fick. As we bring C5 over to the chart, we see a C5 is an excellent chance to steal, which I would use the card for that. Now, in terms of the get a jump chart, we see that his steal rating is a 1, Weaver's a hold of 7. So I'd take the hold 7 against a jump of 1. We see on here, that would be a 0 to 24 attempt, 25 to 32 attempt with a poor jump, 33 to 99, he would hold. There's also an option to attempt a hit and run. The way you do a hit and run here is you roll the play normally, except on a patient, it's a foul ball, and you roll on the batter's in play section. On a wheelhouse, you re-roll the 2d6. If it's doubles, use the wheelhouse as normal. Otherwise, if the percentile roll is a 0 to 49, batter singles. 50 to 99 is an out, refer to the out as normal. All runners advance 2 bases on a single and score on a double. Any runner rated 7 or higher scores from first on a... Well, there's a lot of technical details with that. So, let's see, 1 to 22 wheelhouse. Let's actually go ahead and do a hit and run so we can see how it actually works out. So we'll roll for the at bat like normal. The hit and run here is going to be on. So Weaver will get the sign from Fick. He will set, and he will pitch. And we see here it's a 6, so that'll be a tough result, which means we're going to be resolving the at-bat normally, and an 86 on a tough is going to be grounded over to short. Now does that... So that's grounded to short, which means we do still roll for the double play as normal, since tough was not listed as an exception. So we'll roll for the double play as normal. We see both pitcher and batter have a DP rating for double play. In this case, Weaver's a 6, and Smith is a 7 on the DP rating. So the way you resolve a double play is you roll against the lower of the two results of the two numbers on a 2d6. If it's lower than the lower of the two, then the fielding team has turned a double play, and in this case, the inning will be over. So if the 2d6 roll is it's a 7 or actually it's a 6 or less. So if the 2d6 is a 6 or less, it's a double play, and they will get out of the inning. And they will get out of the inning. So that'll be hit over to Halter. Halter will fire that over to Easley at second. That'll get Stevens. Easley will turn fire over to Clark at first. That'll get Smith. That'll be a 6-4-3 double play. And the Tigers will get out of the inning with no further damage. But they will allow 1 run on 2 hits, a solo bomb by Vladimir Guerrero, and the score is now 1-0 Montreal as we get set for the bottom, or as we get set for the top of the 5th. Just going to check to make sure that the camera has not frozen up on me. Okay, we are all good there. Vasquez finishing up his warm-up tosses, as leading off for the Tigers is Clark. Clark tonight is 0 for 1. Once again, if you guys have questions, I'll interact as I see them, but I'm going to try to move a little bit faster here. Vasquez will get the sign from Barrett. He will set, and he will pitch. 11, that's an in-play 76, and that'll be grounded over to second. Grabbing that for the Expos will be Vidro. He'll make the play over to first for out number 1. Here's Higginson. Higginson is 0 for 1 tonight. Vasquez looking in at Barrett for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. 9. That'll be a ballpark check, but an 84 for a lefty. That's going to be in play. So we'll re-roll on Higginson's in-play chart against a righty. And a 0-0 is actually going to be a rare play, so we get to see how the rare plays work. So now we find the There we go. So now we actually get to see how a rare play works here in Payoff Pitch. And the way we do that is we've got our rare plays here. So we'll roll on in play. We'll re-roll the D100. And the reason we're rolling that is because the 00s came up on the percentile dice. So now we'll roll for a rare play. And in this case, the roll is a 30. So the 30 says, rain causes a delay. A fifth inning or later, roll 1d10 after every half inning. If result is equal to or less than the inning number, umpires call the game due to heavy rain. Game is considered official. If dome stadium or fourth inning or less, there's a slight delay, but the game continues. Use ballpark to resolve this at bat. If the result is wheelhouse, next batter automatically checks wheelhouse section, which there's a typo there. Should be wheelhouse. If in play, remaining batters this inning use tough. So this is a dome stadium, which means there'll be a slight delay, but the game will continue. Use ballpark to resolve this at bat. So we'll go to the ballpark section. If it's in play, remaining batters this inning use tough. And an 84 is going to be in play, as we'll see against a lefty. For a left-handed batter, 84 falls in the in-play range. So in this case, that will be an in-play at bat. So we'll re-roll the D100. And a 79 is going to be a fly ball into center field. Getting under that for the Expos will be Bradley. He will make the catch for 2 outs in the inning. And here's 𝐊𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵. 𝐊𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵 tonight is 0 for 1. Normally I would roll the 2d6 as well, but because of the rare play, we don't even have to bother with that because we know 𝐊𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵 is going to be resolving this off of his tough section. And looking at his tough section, he's going to have a bit of a problem with this one. So Vasquez will get the sign from Barrett, and he will pitch. And because of the tough result on a 30, we'll see that it's actually an ugly at-bat for Wakefield as he gets turned inside out by Vasquez, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Tigers here in the top of the 5th. As the Expos will hold on to a 1-0 lead as we get set for the bottom of the 5th. Just checking everything here. Hopefully you guys are enjoying a little bit of 2001 demo game action. Weaver working on his warm-up tosses tonight as stepping into the batter's box is Bloom. Bloom tonight is 0 for 1. He lined to short his first time up. Weaver looking in it thick for the sign. He will set, and here comes the pitch. 5 will be an in-play 12, and against a righty, Bloom's going to lead off with a single. Infield will move to double play depth, and the batter now is Barrett. Barrett tonight is 0 for 1. And I think we're going to try... Actually, you know what? This is a good opportunity to demonstrate the bunt. Now, I'm going to show you on the chart how the sacrifice bunt works. At least on how you'd roll it cards and dice. How you roll it with the dice. Then I'm going to show you how you do it on the fast action card and why you do it and why I'm going to be using the fast action cards for that. So every batter has a bunt rating. Every batter has a bunt rating of a B in this case. So the way you do that, so you'd come to B, you'd roll the D100 for a sacrifice bunt. You'd also roll a D6 for the fielder. So let's say, so he is going to bunt. So let's go ahead and roll the D6 on column B. Oop. There we go. So let's go ahead and roll this out to see how it would go. So on a 2, we see that's a batter pops out, runner hold. So on a suicide squeeze, runner on third is out for a double play. So the 2 means it's going to be bunted right in front of the plate to the catcher. So that's what would happen if we were rolling on the cards and dice. But what we're going to do instead is we're going to take that bunt rating of B over to a fast action card, and we're going to consult this section. So in this case, that's going to be an SH or a sacrifice hit, and that'll be hit and that'll be bunted right at the plate. So that means Bloom's going to move up, Barrett will be out, and that'll be out number 1. And that'll bring Vasquez up, taking away the double play. Vasquez tonight is 0 for 1. And I think he's going to bunt as well, using a bunt rating of an A on his card. So we're going to flip over another card. And we'll find that he also has a good sacrifice. So he's going to bunt that right back to Weaver. As the Expos are going to play some small ball tonight, even though they lived with a long ball in the they lived with the long ball and some clutch baseball in the 1985 World Series. 2 outs in the inning at any rate, and the batter now is Cabrera. Cabrera tonight, hold on, need to undo that play. Actually, no, we don't need to do the... Wait. Something's not right. Hold on, I need to back this play up. Okay, so Barrett with a sacrifice hit. So Barrett should have actually Vasquez... Wait, I need to back 2 plays up. And now I can't. So... Oh, I see what I got to do here. So I actually can't back up 2 plays. What we should end up with is we should have ended up with Bloom at third. So that should have been a sacrifice hit. So yeah, I kind of screwed this one up. So we should have ended up with sacrifice hit to the pitcher. Which means, yep. Okay, so what we're going to end... So we're going to go with what Action PC is giving us here, even though what we should have is Bloom at third. So we're going to go with Barrett at second, since I screwed that up, and the batter now is Cabrera. Cabrera tonight, so we're going to pretend that it was a forced bunt. Anywho, Cabrera tonight is 0 for 2. So yeah, I screwed up in Action PC, but again, learning the program. So Barrett waiting at second. Weaver gets the sign from Fick, and he will pitch. A 10, that'll be an in play, but a 66 is going to be too high to do anything with. That'll be a ground ball over to second. Grabbing that for the Tigers is going to be easily. He'll make the play over to first, and that will retire the side. Nothing across except the single for the Expos. Still 1-0 Montreal here after 5 in this 2001 demo game. So ground ball to second. Had the remote in my hand. Oh, I put the charts down right on top of it. There we go. Leading off the inning for the Tigers now is Easley. Vasquez will continue to pitch. Easley tonight is 0 for 1. Vasquez looking in at Barrett for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. An 8. will be a patient 24. And a patient 24, that'll be a walk, as Easley will get on. He'll be the first base runner for the Tigers in this one. The infield will move to double play depth, as the batter now is 𝐿𝐿. 𝐿𝐿 struck out his first time up. Easley, could they do something crazy here on the base paths? A C4, though, for Easley trying to steal. C4 is a very good chance. So Easley, 𝐿𝐿's got pretty good power. They're gonna let 𝐿𝐿 swing away here. I think that's gonna be the play here. So yeah, they will let 𝐿𝐿 swing away. Vasquez will get the sign from Barrett. He will set and he will pitch. Boxcars, that's a tough 61. And a tough 61, ooh. Actually, they will get away with one here because on a 61, 𝐿𝐿's actually going to fight that one off. He's going to end up with the first hit, and we're going to have a tied demo game as 𝐿𝐿 will be at third with a triple. So nothing cute here. Runner will score. 𝐿𝐿 will make it to third, and we are tied at 1. Stadium groans. Ugh. Infield will come in as the batter now will be Weaver. As now Expos fans can't believe what they see. They are going to bring the infield in on this play, though. And the way the infield in works, so I can find my chart on here because I know there's... Oh, here we go. So with the infield in, we'll re-roll after the at-bat, and then we'll check the... So we'll resolve the at-bat at normal, and then we're going to use the infielder corners in chart. So Vasquez will get the sign from... Actually, with the runner at third. So let's get so Vasquez will get the sign from Barrett, and he will pitch. All right, an 8. That's going to be a patient 89. So a patient 89 is going to be too high for Weaver to do anything with it. 89 is going to be a ground ball over to short. Now with the infield in, that's going to be a 6. With the infield in, you re-roll the 2d6 and check them on a ground ball. So we'll grab the 2d6 and we'll re-roll them, consulting on this chart. We roll a 7. So on a 7, runner on third is out at home, batter safe. Bases are not loaded, so we're not worried about that. 𝐿𝐿 is thrown out as the throw comes to the plate. There will be 2 outs in the inning. Actually, there will be 1 out in the inning. I stand corrected. Infield will be at double play depth. Let me see if I can get this detailed correctly. So, let's see. That will be a ground ball to short. The throw... Actually, let me see if I need to bring the... So ground ball to short. Runner on third. Actually, the throw is going to go to the plate. So let me make sure this is going to work correctly. So that's going to be that should be a G6-2 for 1 out. Which means Weaver would reach on a fielder's choice. So Clark grounded to short. Detroit is sending 𝐿𝐿. Throw's going to come to the plate. So we no. Hold on. Okay, so I had this all set up. 𝐿𝐿 didn't score. Okay, you go away. All right, so ground ball to short. 6-2. That's grounded to short. Okay, grounded to short. Put out scoring. Oh, so runner third, let's try out at home. Okay, hold on. So invalid out total. Okay, so let's go back. Ground ball short. So probably out. Hold on. So ground ball. So G6. Let me see if I might need to delete that. So we should end up with out at home. All right, so ground ball, he's going to end up out at home. Fielder 6, that's grounded. I don't know why it's not letting me do this. So we want... So that should be ground ball. Wait a minute, hold on. The batter's ultimately not going to be out. So this should be ground ball short. So he's out at home. I don't know why it's doing this. So ground ball to short. Ground ball short. Okay, this detailing isn't working out correctly, so they're going... So runner... Okay, this is driving me nuts, because what we should end up with here is I brought the infield in. So what we should end up with here is 2 outs, is 1 out in the inning, Weaver on first, and Macias should be at the plate. So I'm just trying to figure out how I get this detailed correctly. So let's see here. So the ground ball at short's going to the plate. Actually, what if... So let me think how I want to do this. Probably fielder's choice. There we go. So if I go fielder's choice, 6 out at home. Okay, so I've got to use fielder's choice there. Good to know, but at least now we get send Encarnacion home, out chance. Okay, so there we go. No! Safe. Okay, I don't like this at all. So delete last play. Clark grounded, manual entry, Clark grounded to short. Encarnacion should be out. So I don't know why it's not letting me. So out at home, that's what I'm trying to enter here. I don't like at all that it's overriding me on how I want to enter this in. So fly out, line out, pop out, sacrifice hit. So it's hit to short, but the throw's coming home. He should be out at the plate. I don't like that action PC is overriding me. And now we've got an invalid runtime. Which means the game just crashed out on me. Delightful. So we should end up with 1 out in the inning. So yeah, we should have 1 out in the inning, which we do. Weaver's at first, infield at double play depth, and Macias is now the batter. So yeah, Action PC still, I think, has some kinks on it. Macias tonight is 0 for 2. 1 out in the inning, infield at double play depth. Vasquez will get the sign from Barrett. He will set, and he will pitch. The 3 is a wheelhouse check. And a 29. Macias is going to get a hold of one. That's going to be a triple, and that'll bring Weaver to the plate, and that'll give the Tigers a 2-1 lead. Stadium groans. Ugh. The infield's got to come in again, and the batter now is Halter. Excuse me. Halter tonight is 0 for 2. We are going to get some activity in the Expos bullpen. Now, this is also a narrative detail that I like to incorporate in the game. I know it's a thing in History Maker Baseball, but I do like adding it here. So left switch left. They're going to get a... Who are they going to get warming up? They're going to get... I think they want long relief here. The Expos are going to get Bobby Munoz warming up. Now, I'm not in danger with Vasquez yet in terms of fatigue, because he does have a fatigue rating of 7. So what that means is if he's in the 7th and scores and is allowed 3 runs, then he'll be fatigued, and that'll change some of his results. We're not in danger of that happening yet, though. But if he scores 6 runs before that, if he allows 6 runs before then before that point, then he would be fatigued. Anyway, Vasquez has got to keep this carnage under control. He will get the sign from Barrett, and he will pitch. 7, that's going to be an in-play 16, and Halter's going to come through with a single. Macias will score, and the Tigers will take a 3-1 lead here in Montreal. Stadium groans. Ugh. Infield will go to double play depth, and the batter now is Fick. Fick tonight is 0 for 2. Vasquez, Montreal fans here at Stade Olympique, not liking what they see. Vasquez will get the sign from Barrett, and he will pitch. 10, that's a tough 9. That's going to be an ugly swing by Fick, as he's going to go down on strikes for out number 2. I was about to reach for Action PC, but I don't even need to go to Action PC because it crashed out on me. Batter is Clark. Clark tonight is 0 for 2. Vasquez will get the sign from Barrett. He will set, and here comes the pitch. 11, that's going to be an in-play, but a 91. 91 is going to be a ground ball over to short. Grabbing that for the Expos is going to be Cabrera. He will make the play, and that will retire the side. 2 runs, actually, 2 runs on, actually 3 runs it looks like, on 3 hits, a walk, 2 of those hits being triples. The Tigers now have a 2-1 lead as we get set for the bottom of the 6th. Bottom of the 6th coming up brings us to the bottom of the 6th for the Expos. Will bring us back to starting the heart of their order. Here's Bradley. Bradley tonight is 0 for 2. Weaver suddenly with a 3-1 lead. He will get the sign from Fick. He will set, and he will pitch. 4. That's going to be a ballpark check. Bradley hits lefty against Weaver. 30 is a wheelhouse check. But a 95 is going to be way too high. He's going to give that that's going to be a long fly ball into left field. But going back for that will be Higginson. He'll have room to make the catch, and that will be 1 out in the inning. And here's Vidro. Vidro tonight is Weaver tonight is 1 for 2. He's got a single. Weaver will get the sign from 𝐕𝐤𝐝. He will set, and he will pitch. 5. That's going to be an in-play 32, and against a righty, Vidro will get on with a single. He's going to put some pressure on Weaver. That'll bring the infield to double play depth, and Vlad will be the batter. Guerrero tonight is 2 for 2. He's got a single and a bomb tonight. The Tigers know they've got to pitch Guerrero very carefully. Weaver will get the sign from 𝐕𝐤𝐝. Fans here at Olympic Stadium hoping Guerrero can do it again. Weaver will set, and he will pitch. 12 will be a defense check, so now we get to go to the fast action cards, and we're looking at this section, so we'll flip it over, and we'll see that this time we're looking for an error on the first baseman. The first baseman for the Tigers, in this case, is Clark, so his error rating is a 4. On the infield card, we see that his error rating of a 4 is actually pretty good. So we'll re-roll the D100. 1 to 29 will be an error. A 30 to 99 will be an out. Either way, we'll be flipping another fast action card for that. That's a 57, so we will be flipping another fast action card and consulting the out section in the middle. So for an infielder, that'll be a ground ball, and we will turn the double play here. So Guerrero will hit into one, he'll get into a double play. That'll be we'll call that a. Actually, that would be a 3-6-3, wouldn't it? And the Expos will get out of this with Bubkus. Nothing across except for the hit for the Expos. Detroit all of a sudden has a 3-1 lead here after 6. As a reminder, I will be doing my other product unboxing tonight during the 7th inning stretch tonight. Top of the 7th coming up though, and leading off is Higginson. Higginson tonight is 0 for 2. Normally I'd be looking at pulling Vasquez now, but I think I'm going to let him pitch into the 8th so we can see how. Actually, I'm going to let him go to fatigue so I can show you guys how fatigue works in this game. During a real replay, I'd absolutely have the hook for Vasquez. Probably by now, honestly. Vasquez will get the sign from Barrett, though. He will set, and he will pitch. 9 is going to be a ballpark check. He's a lefty, 96 is in play. A 25, though, that's going to be a single for Higginson, as he'll lead off the inning with a single. The infield will go to double play depth, and the batter now is Wakeland. Wakeland tonight is 0 for 2. He's actually got decent power against righties. I think we're going to try. I think I'm going to show you guys how stealing works. We'll look at his steal rating. Actually, he's an F for steal, so that's not going to make sense here. What I will show you though is we will do another hit and run here. So I'm going to find my hit and run charts. Let's try. We're going to call another hit and run. The hit and run is on. We'll see if we get a result that we can actually look at. Vasquez will get the sign from Barrett. He will set, and he will pitch. A 7, that's an in-play 76. On an in-play 76, that's going to be a fly ball into center field. Now that's going to be caught. That's going to be caught in center field by Bradley for out number 1. On a flyout with the runner on base, re-roll the 2d6 and the d10. If the 2d6 are doubles and the d10 is greater than Higginson's run rating of a 7, he'll be thrown out trying to return to first. We see that the d6 is not doubles, but the d10 was greater. So if the d6 would have turned into doubles, he would have been thrown out trying to return to first. But Higginson will get back to first base. But that will be 1 out in the inning. And the batter now is Easley. Actually, I was looking at Wakeland for steal rating. Easley tonight is 0 for 1 with a walk. So I should be looking at Higginson with a C4. C4 is a very good chance to steal. So let's actually try to steal a base. So I can show you guys how this works. So we'll use once I find my get a jump chart, I'll show you guys how this works. I know I've got my get a jump chart hiding here somewhere. That's my stealing chart. So bear with me while I look for my get a jump chart so I can show you how this works. Here we are. So Higginson's steal rating is a 5 against a hold of a 4. So a 5 against a hold of 4, we're going to roll the percentile. On a 0 to 39 he attempts, 40 to 44 he attempts with a poor jump, and a 45 to 99 he will hold. All right, that's a 10. So he's off to second base. A steal rating of a C, what did we say? A C4 was a very good chance. So we'll go to the Tigers fast action deck, and I'll use the stealing section. Looking at very good, we'll see that Higginson will get to second base. The throw will be high, but Higginson will be in there with a stolen base. And I had my pen right over here. So that'll be a successful steal by Higginson. As a house rule, I only attempt to steal once per pitch, essentially. So Vasquez will now get the sign from Barrett, as all of a sudden he's got another runner at second. Vasquez will set, and he will pitch. All right, 10 is a tough 25, and against a righty, Easley is going to swing through the high heat for strike 3. That will be out number 2. Encarnacion, now the batter. Encarnacion tonight is 1 for 3, but that one was a triple. With 2 outs, I'd leave Higginson staying put. You saw how easy stealing is. Vasquez will get the sign from Barrett. He will set, and he will pitch. An 8 will be a patient 22. Encarnacion is plenty patient against Vasquez. Encarnacion will work a 2-out walk out of the at-bat. And I think the Tigers here are going to pull Weaver out of the game. He will leave with a W. And the Tigers are going to go to the bench. They will bring in... They're going to bring in Dean Palmer to pinch hit. 5 home runs, 20 walks against right-handed pitching in 2001. I'll go ahead and compile stats. I'll compile stats on Weaver here. Let's see, so I need to go here. Innings pitched, he went 6. Up. Six innings pitched, gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits, 1 run earned. No walks, struck out 2. Didn't hit anybody, no balks, no wild pitches. Batters faced, let's see, 18 and 4 is 22. Weaver currently in line for the W. We'll get some activity in the bullpen for the Tigers, as they have left-right switch. They will bring in, look at Luis Pineda warming up. Will the Tigers. Vasquez now in a lot of trouble. He will get the sign from Barrett. Fans here at Olympic Stadium hoping for a big-time pitch. Vasquez will set, and he will pitch. 3 is a wheelhouse check, 38. Against a righty, a 38 is going to be a base hit by Palmer. So at the very least, Higginson's going to score because we have extra runner advancement. So we'll get a fast action card. And we'll see that ball blooped into right field. Runner on first advances 1 base. They'll advance 2 because he's taking off. Runner on second scores. So Higginson will score. Encarnacion to third. Palmer to first. 4-1 in favor of the Tigers. Stadium groans. Ugh. As the fans here at Olympic Stadium do not like what they see. Here's Macias. Macias tonight is 1 for 3, but that one's a triple. Like I said, at this point, I would get the hook for Vasquez, but I'm going to let him pitch a little bit further so I can show you guys how fatigue works. Vasquez will get the sign from Barrett. He will set, and here comes the pitch. 7, that's going to be an in play, and a 38 is going to be just too high. That'll get popped up to third. Getting under that will be Bloom. He will make the catch, and that will retire the side. But the Tigers get another run out of it. 1 run on 2 hits, a walk, and a stolen base. Score is now 4-1 Tigers. And I think their other run came in... Actually, it looks like they got 3 in the 6th. So it is now the time for the 7th inning stretch. Sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. I will take a small break before I open our other delivery tonight. This delivery came in while I was out and about today. So, actually this came in the mail after I got home. You guys are probably going to look at the games here and go, okay, at this point, Phoenix Knight really needs to get outside, get some fresh air, touch some grass. But, let's see what we've got in here. I mean, you guys probably think I need to get out and touch grass already, but... this will probably make you guys think I really need to do that. Okay. Just checking the note there. And in here I'm having to get down under some of this stuff just to make it make sense. But the first thing we're greeted by in here is a copy of Real Time Pro Fishing by Play Now. Real fishing fun on your laptop, on your tabletop. We'll go through that eventually on a full product unboxing. Related to that, we've also got Lakes Collection 1 and 2, along with Fishin' Pros tournament cards for Real Time Pro Fishing. So we'll go through all of that. We've also got in here Aviatrix 37 by Play Games. This one has us in control of Amelia Earhart, going through one of her flights, and I thought this one looked really interesting, so I decided to grab it as well. Figuring it looks like a narrative game, so I figured, yeah, I'll grab it. Plus, I've got a lot of trust in Play Games right now. Anyway, bottom of the 7th, we'll bring a new pitcher into the game for the Tigers, as coming into pitch. As coming into pitch for the Tigers will be Luis Pineda. 0-1 with a 4.91 ERA, 18 and a third innings pitched, 16 hits, 2 home runs, 14 walks, and 13 strikeouts in 2001. He'll be in charge of the middle of the Expos order. Leading off the bottom of the 7th for the Expos, we've got Lee Stevens. Stevens tonight is 1 for 2 with a single. Pineda, looking in at Fick for the sign. He will set, here's the kick, and here comes the pitch. 7, that's going to be a patient and a 14. That'll be plenty to get a walk for Stevens out of the at-bat, and he'll lead off the inning by trotting to first base. The infield will move to double play depth, and the batter now is Smith. Smith tonight is 0 for 2. He's flown out and hit into a double play. Down 3, I don't think you're stealing here. Well, with a C5, though, C5 would be an excellent chance to steal. I think they're going to have him hold with the 3-run deficit, though. Yeah, they're going to have him hold. Pineda will get the sign from Fick. He will set, and he will pitch. That's a 9. 9 will be a tough 93, and that'll be a fly ball into left field. Getting under that for the Tigers is going to be Higginson. He will make the catch for out number 1. And here's Bloom. Bloom tonight is 0 for 1. He lined out, and he's got a single. Now I think they would probably do something with Stevens on the base paths because Bloom does not have good power. I think they are going to try again with the hit and run here. Yeah, they're going to try the hit and run here. What's this chart? Oh, reroll the... All lineouts are turned into double plays, the closest runner being doubled off. Oh, so... Otherwise, if the... Refer to the batter's out section... Not sure what the 2d6 roll is. Oh, 2d6 might be this chart. Anyway, they are going to try a hit and run here. Pineda will get the sign from Fick, and he will pitch. 6. That is a patient 44. And I think if patient... Foul ball, reroll on the batter's in play section. So we'll reroll on in play. And an 84... is going to be a ground ball to short. So that's where the 2d6 looks like is going to come into play. So that's going to be a G6. We'll see what happens on the 2d6. Okay, that's a 6. So batter's out at first base. All runners advance 1. So Stevens will go to second, but there will be 2 outs in the inning as Bloom's going to bounce that hard, but right at the shortstop. And the batter now is Barrett. Barrett tonight is 0 for 1. He's got a sacrifice hit. Stevens at first, or at second. Pineda will get the sign from Fick. He will set, and he will pitch. 7, that's going to be a patient 67, and we'll see that's a little bit too high. That's going to be grounded over to second. Grabbing that for the Tigers will be Easley. He will make the play over to first, and that will retire the side. Nothing across except the walk for the Expos. Still 4-1 Tigers after 7. As I mentioned, if this was an actual replay game, I would have gotten the hook for 𝐊𝐿𝐵𝐿 already. But because this is a demo game, I wanted to show you guys how fatigue works. So for a starting pitcher, it'll be different for a reliever. But for a starting pitcher, you give him one of these fatigue starting pitcher cards. So you change ballpark to wheelhouse. Patient may change based on the percentile die roll in the chart below. Tough also changes based on a slightly different percentile roll. So we're going to roll at least one at-bat for 𝐊𝐿𝐵𝐿 before we actually get the hook for him. Leading off the top of the eighth for the Tigers is Halter. We're going to get some, speaking of the Tigers, we're going to get some more activity in their bullpen. As the Tigers are going to get... they don't really have a closer necessarily, do they? Let's see, the Expos have... Let's see, pinch right switch. They're going to get Heath Murray loosening up. Anyway, Halter is the batter. Halter tonight is 1 for 3. He's got a single. 𝐊𝐿𝐵𝐿 will get the sign from Barrett. He will set. Here's the windup. And here comes the pitch. 7 is an in-play and a 21. That's going to be a single for Halter. Infield will move to double play depth. Batter now is 𝐊𝐿𝐵𝐿. 𝐊𝐿𝐵𝐿 tonight is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, but that is going to be it for 𝐊𝐿𝐵𝐿. As much as I want to show you guys how fatigue works, I'm going to play with some sense and not have the Expos get ruined just for demo purposes. Coming in to pitch for the Expos will be Bobby Munoz. 0-4 with a 5.14 ERA. 42 innings pitched, 53 hits, 6 home runs, 21 walks and strikeouts in 2001. We can't close the book on 𝐊𝐿𝐵𝐿 yet because Halter is still 𝐊𝐿𝐵𝐿's problem. But the Expos are in a lot of trouble here in the top of the eighth. Munoz will get the sign, Munoz will get the sign from Barrett. He will set and he will pitch. 11, that's an in-play 58. In-play 58 is going to get lifted into left field. Getting under that for the Expos is going to be Smith. He will make the play for out number 1. And here's Clark. Clark tonight is 0 for 3. Munoz will get the sign from Barrett. He will set. And here comes the pitch. 8 will be a patient 41, and he'll be patient enough to work a walk out of the at-bat, as suddenly the Tigers have something going on with 1 out in the inning. Batter now is Higginson. Higginson tonight is 1 for 3 with a single and a stolen base, and he scored a run tonight. Munoz, suddenly in trouble. Fans here at Olympic Stadium, hoping for a big-time pitch. Munoz will get the sign from Barrett. He will set, and he will pitch. 7 will be a patient 3, and wow, just like that, Munoz has walked the bases loaded. The bases are full of kitty cats. And now the infield has got to come in. Batter now is Wakefield. Wakefield tonight is, or Wakeland tonight I should say, is 0 for 3. We're going to get some activity in the Expos bullpen as getting loose from Montreal is going to be it's going to be Graham Lloyd getting loose for the Expos. As Munoz has got to try to get out of trouble here. So we'll get to see another infield in play here. Munoz will get the sign from Barrett. He will set and he will pitch. 6. That'll be a tough 72. And we're not going to get to see another play there yet because that'll be a swing and a miss by Wakeland. And that'll be 2 outs in the inning. Batter now is 𝐊𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿. 𝐊𝐿𝐿𝐿 tonight is 0 for 1. Is 0 for 2. He's got a walk. Munoz trying to get out of the inning. He will get the sign from Barrett. Fans here at Stade Olympique hoping for a big-time pitch. Munoz will set, and he will pitch. Let's see, 8. That'll be a patient 1, and that's going to be a walk, as Halter will come in to score. And the bases are still full of kitty cats. 5-1 Tigers, and now we can close the book on Vasquez. Stadium groans. Ugh. So I will compile stats on Vasquez real quick. So he went 7+, gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 hits, 5 runs, all earned. Walked 1. Those free bases really causing problems tonight for the Expos. 5 walks, struck out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. Didn't hit anybody. No wild pitches. Faced. Actually, no. 2 of those walks are for Munoz. So total batters faced was 27, 28, 29. Vasquez currently on the hook for the loss in this one. So the batter now is Encarnacion. Encarnacion tonight is 1 for 2. He's got a triple and a walk. And Munoz has got to pitch. He hits lefties a little bit better. Munoz actually hits lefties harder, but he hits against righties better. He will get the Munoz will pitch. He'll get the sign from Barrett, and he will pitch. 5. That'll be a tough 43, and that will get the Expos out of the inning as he's going to strike out, as he's going to get Encarnacion with the bases loaded to end the inning. But more damage done here. 1 run on 1 hit and 3 walks. As the Tigers now hold a 5-1 lead. Actually, that should be a 5-1 lead as we get set for the bottom of the 8th. Pineda is going to come out of the game. Coming in to pitch for the Tigers will be Heath Murray. 1-7 with a 6.54 ERA. 63 1/3 innings pitched. 82 hits, 11 homers, 40 walks, and 42 strikeouts in 2001. Let's see, 1 inning for Pineda. Gave up a walk, but nothing else. Leading off the bottom of the 8th for the Expos is going to be a pinch hitter, as Munoz is also going to come out of the game, as he made a mess of it. Coming in to pinch hit for the Expos will be Fernando Tatis. Against a lefty, 1 home run, 6 walks. Okay. There we go. Murray, hoping to keep this game right where it is. He will get the sign from 𝐊𝐿𝐿. He will set, and he will pitch. 10 will be a patient 58. Tatis against the lefty is plenty patient to work a walk out of the at-bat. As he'll get something going for the Expos, hopefully. Infield at double play depth. Cabrera, now the batter. Cabrera tonight is 0 for 3. Tatis is not going anywhere on the base paths. Cabrera hits lefties pretty well. Murray will get the sign from 𝐊𝐿. He will set, and he will pitch. 4, that's a wheelhouse check. He's a righty. 69 is in play, though. And a 94, that's gonna go a long way, fly into left field, but it's not gonna go long enough. Higginson will track that one down without any problem for out number 1. Here's Bradley. Bradley tonight is 0 for 3. Murray trying to keep this game right where it is. He will get the sign from 𝐊𝐿. He will set, and he will pitch. 9 is going to be a patient 15. And yeah, and Bradley will be plenty patient to get a walk as well. Here come the Expos. Let's see if the Expos can hold on to get Guerrero up. Here's 𝐕𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐿. 𝐕𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐿 tonight is 2 for 2. He's got he's 2 for 2. He's got 2 singles. Murray will get the sign from 𝐊𝐿. He will set, and he will pitch. 5 is a ballpark check. He hits righty 52. Uh-oh. That's wheelhouse for 𝐕𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐿. But an 84 is going to be too high. That's going to be a fly ball into center field. Getting under that one is going to be... Encarnacion. He will make the catch for out number 2. Now, because he was wheelhouse and flew out, it's deep enough. If there's a runner on... So if on an F8 rating, the runner advances to third if he's a 7 or higher. And Tatis is a 6, so he will actually hold. And there will be 2 outs in the inning. And the batter now is Guerrero. Guerrero tonight is 2 for 3. He's got a single and a homer. And he needs to come through clutch if the Expos are going to have a chance of winning this demo game. Murray will get the sign from 𝐊𝐿. He will set, and he will pitch. 8. That'll be a tough 25. I don't think that'll help him. Nope. Not even against the lefty if we look at the right column. He's still going to swing through the high heat for strike 3, and that will retire the side. Nothing across except the walk. Actually, 2 walks, but the Tigers aren't able to do anything with them. What they will hold, though, is a 5-1 lead after 8. Do that. I'll compile stats on Munoz, and then the Expos are going to need a pitcher. Actually, we'll compile stats on both of our current pitchers because Murray's going to come out of the game for the Tigers for a pinch hitter. Let's see, Munoz, 1 inning, gave up 3 walks, but somehow nothing else. Faced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As for Murray, He went 1 inning, 2 walks, 1 strikeout, and nothing else, though. Faced 5. All right, first things first, the Expos need a pitcher. Coming in to pitch for the Expos will be Graeme Lloyd. 9-5 with a 4.35 ERA. 70 1/3 innings pitched, 74 hits, 6 homers, 21 walks, 44 strikeouts in 2001. Coming in to pinch hit for the Tigers is going to be Wendell McGee. Against lefties, 5 home runs and 11 walks in 2001. Lloyd trying to keep this game right where it is and hope the Expos can get some 9th inning magic. Lloyd will get the sign from Barrett. He will set and he will pitch. 12, that's a defense check, so we'll go to the Tigers card for that. So defense in this case is we're checking on error on the third baseman. Expos third baseman is Bloom. His error rating is a 4. .94, that'll be an out. So we'll check the Tigers card for that. And that'll be a ground ball. That'll be a ground ball over to Bloom. He will get it with no problem. Throw it over to first for out number 1. And here's Macias. Actually, Murray came out of the game for a pinch hitter. We'll get some activity in Detroit's bullpen. They're going to get... Let's see, they have left-right switch. Tigers are going to get Dave Borkowski warming up. Macias tonight is 1 for 4, but that one's a triple. 5-1 Tigers, top of the 9th. Lloyd will get the sign from Barrett. He will set, and he will pitch. 6. That is an in-play 80. That's going to be way too high to do anything with it. That's going to be a fly ball into center field. Bradley will get under that one for the Expos. He will make the play for out number 2. And here's Halter. Halter tonight is 2 for 4 with 2 singles. Lloyd will get the sign from Barrett. He will set. Here's the kick. And here comes the pitch. 7 is a patient 35. And against the lefty, Halter's going to have extend the inning with a single. Third single tonight for Halter. He's got the hot bat tonight. And here's Fick. Fick tonight is 0 for 4. He struck out twice. Fick trying to extend the top of the 9th. Lloyd will get the sign from Barrett, and he will pitch. 11, that's a tough 23, and that's going to be an ugly swing and a miss by Fick, as he's going to go down on strikes. And Lloyd will hold it right where it is. No runs, 1 hit for the Tigers. And we are headed to the bottom of the 9th, where the age-old question we have to answer is, will we see some 9th inning magic? Tigers need a pitcher. Coming in to pitch is going to be righty Dave Borkowski. 0-2 with a 6.37 ERA. 29 2/3 innings pitched, 30 hits, 5 home runs, 15 walks, 30 strikeouts in 2001. He will have the middle of the Expos order to deal with. Leading off the bottom of the 9th is Stevens. Stevens tonight is 1 for 3. Actually, he's 1 for 2 with a single and a walk tonight. 𝐊𝐿𝐼 trying to finish this game for the Tigers. 𝐊𝐿𝐼 will get the sign from Fick, and he will pitch. 11 is a defense 0-0. We're going to have a defensive rare play. So I need to find my runner's empty defense. This is empty defense. Here we go. 𝐷 says, shortstop makes a diving stop on a ground ball in the hole. Roll a D6. If the result is higher than the shortstop's error rating, the throw to first is wild and into the dugout. Batter safe at second on a 2-base error. If the result is equal to or less, the throw just beats the batter for the out. Shortstop for the Tigers is Halter. His error rating is a 2. Uh-oh. And that's going to go wide into the dugout, and Stevens will be safe on a 2-base error. Ooh. Not the thing you want to see if you're a Tigers fan tonight. Smith, now the batter. Smith tonight is 0 for 3. 𝐷 looking at Halter going... Actually, looking at... Yeah, Halter going, what are you doing over there? 𝐷 looking in at Fick for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. 8. That's going to be a tough 99. That's going to be a fly ball into left field. Getting under that one is going to be Higginson. He will make the catch for out number 1. Because it's tough, that wasn't deep, that wasn't a deep fly ball. Stevens will hold it second. And here's Bloom. Bloom's 1 for 3. He's got a single tonight. 𝐷 looking at Fick for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. 9 is going to be a tough 34. And against a righty, that's going to be a swing and miss by Bloom. Strike 3, out number 2. And the last chance for the Expos comes to Michael Barrett. Barrett today is 0 for 2. He's got a sacrifice hit. 𝐷 trying to close it down. Fans here at Olympic Stadium hoping Barrett can keep it going. 𝐷 looking in for the sign. He will set, and here comes the pitch. 8 is going to be a tough 69. And against a righty, that's going to be a ground ball over to second. Picking that up for the Tigers is going to be easily. He's got it. He'll pump once, pump twice, throw to first. That's your game. The Detroit Tigers take this 2001 demo game by a final score of 5-1. Stadium groans. Ugh. Final line score coming up. For the Tigers, 5 runs on 6 hits and no errors. For the Expos, 1 run on 6 hits and 1 error. Winning pitcher tonight is Jeff Weaver. He's going to get the win. Javier Vasquez will end up with the loss. And that will do it for the 2001 demo game. Payoff Pitch, as always, is a great baseball game. I really like the system. However, I can tell after this game, I am not a fan at all of Action PC. Especially with the fight I was having with that runner I had a play earlier in the game where I had a runner at third, and based on the roll, he should have been out, but it still scored him as safe anyway. So that might be something I have to report into the people who make Action PC Baseball. That'll be something they'll want to be aware of. I do have Digital Diamond, though. I was able to get this. I was having problems getting the 2001 season on Digital Diamond, but I was finally able to get it. So I'll have to figure out what I want to do, if I want to use Digital Diamond or if I want to still use Action PC. I do like the manual entry system for Action PC, but just having to cuss around with it a bit and reset my lineups midstream definitely threw me off. So that's something I'm going to have to figure out before the season starts in January. Anyway, I'm rambling at this point, so I'm going to wrap this video up. Tomorrow, Mystical Munchies will conclude out of the Corleone family cookbook, as we'll be making the dessert, olive oil and orange cake. We'll also have at least one game on the channel tomorrow, but stay tuned for that. Sunday morning, as of now, we're still playing APA Golf, but again, stay tuned to the channel for that. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care, everyone. The Detroit Tigers avenge their 1985 World Series defeat by winning the 2001 demo game by a final score of 5-1 over the Montreal Expos. Once again, take care, and I will see you guys tomorrow.